Well, it's about time that we emerged from our time machine after traveling 2 years in real time to the new premiere of the latest Doctor Who episode. What we're going to talk about, this is Game of Who. Once upon a time, this was sort of a Mystery Science Theater 3000 riff tracks thing for Doctor Who episodes, but we were terrible at that. So instead, we're going to recap the episode and sort of go over our thoughts about it. We have a lovely little collection of screen grabs that we're going to annotate with our palaver, as it were.
I don't know, maybe you, man, maybe you. That's Jordan Venn, if you're wondering. I'm Old Man Venn, sitting back over here on the left side of the corner, and it's definitely a thing. What I did is, instead of trying to pick out certain scenes, is I fed FFmpeg, just like, hey man, take a picture, a snapshot, every minute for 60 minutes. So that's what you're going to see rolling in the background, but you were rambling, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yes, the rambles. So we're going to be talking about we're going to be doing a little recap of the latest Doctor Who series 11, episode 1, the first appearance of our new Doctor, Ms. Jodie Whittaker, as we don't know. She doesn't remember her name until the end of the episode.
Oh, but I just had it. It was right on the tip of my. What's that thing called again? What's this? Oh, right.
It's the meat tentacle.
It's the squiggly spooch, man. It's always a squiggly spooch. So I think the first thing I noticed with this. 100%. No intro, man.
I think that's because they're waiting for some other fan to like put an intro on YouTube so they can steal it.
Deep cuts, but real. I hope that kid gets some money from that, because that was a little more than a that was some straight up plagiarism right there. That was a definitely thing. Okay, so we rolled into the end. That was a long cold open too.
It was. We start off with not YouTube, and I got to give it credit because I've seen some of like the fake website mock-ups that Doctor Who does for like Facebook or whatever. Mm-hmm. This was probably one of the better looking fakes, despite the fact that it was obviously fake YouTube.
Well, yeah, 100%. I mean, you definitely knew that it was supposed to be YouTube, but both of us use YouTube enough, and it's one of those things. It's the reason doctors don't watch medical dramas. It's like, does it work like that?
Oh yeah, no, my recommended videos feed is constantly inundated with how to make money off of vlogging, which I guess implies that this guy doesn't really do anything except try to make money off his vlogs.
Did you read any of the videos over to the right side? I never got around to it. I meant to.
Yes, they were all shit like it was literally like make money on vlogging, how to vlog, things to avoid while vlogging, and there was like one guy with one of those horse masks, except it was like a pigeon. It was like Dr. Pigeons. Vlogging tips.
Smash that like button, fam. Ring that bell. Like and subscribe. Right.
Yeah. Smash the bell, fam.
Yeah. So, did you really think that was like? Well, he said his profession later on was like working in a warehouse.
Well, he said like home care or something.
He was studying to be a mechanic.
He was studying to be a mechanic. There's some throwaway line about how he has some like sort of disability involving coordination, so he can't really do things like ride a bike, which is what this scene is. We get grandma and not grandpa trying to teach this. I mean, he looks 30, but I guess in fiction he's supposed to be like maybe 20 something.
Right.
20 something man learning to ride a bike for the first time near a cliff. And I don't know. Do they not do training wheels in the UK?
I've definitely seen training wheels growing up, man.
Yeah, because like how I learned was you get both training wheels, and then you take off one of them, and then you sort of have to learn how to balance that way, and then you take off the other one.
Oh,
and
no, that was just your parents fucking with you.
Oh yeah, sure. I mean, that wouldn't be the first time. But homeboy gets mad and he chucks the bike off the cliff.
That was the first thing in that cold open, because I'm Squirrel. It's over here on one of the monitors running, and I'm going through catching up on emails, and I just saw like Hulk smash, and the bike's like wee. It's like, oh, what just happened here, man?
See, my first thought was like, I've met Jamaican moms, and I was just waiting for like, and the chat and like the kid goes flying alongside the bike in 3, 2, 1.
Listen, the grandparents handled it a lot better than I would have. Like, seriously.
Yeah, you go flying along with the bike.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
100%.
that is 100% what I was expecting.
So they do the sit down at the edge of the cliff, and eventually Grandma's like, "You gotta go get that bike," and that's kind of where our story. That was the first thing. I was like, "Oh, look, science fiction stuff. Here we go." And we ran into what would you call it?
It looks like a giant glowing Hershey's Kiss, like the little chocolate.
Quite possibly. It's just like rule number 1: never press floating glowy buttons ever.
Right. And like the thing that happens afterwards, he immediately touches it. That movie Chronicle kind of leaned into that, but I totally want to see like the one guy who the one space dimension rock that someone touches and it's like super radioactive and just liquefies that guy's organs.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, this thing came from space. Don't touch it. You don't know what it is.
Well, I cut it so he pushes it, it zips out, then space poo shows up.
Yep, space dookie.
And naturally, after pressing the button, he's like, "Oh, right, maybe I'll just come over here and touch it, because that's what you do with space poo."
Yes, but it's not hot. It's not hot, spicy space shit. It's freezy space shit, as we later learn.
Super cold.
Yeah. So then we end up on a train, I believe.
Mm-hmm. We're still getting introduced to everyone. And
yeah. I think we're at that point we're still with Grandma and Grandpa, and not Grandpa rather.
Right, Grandma and not Grandpa. They're chilling out. They're talking. Grandma's getting a little frisky. She's like, "Yo, what's up?" And that's cool. That's going down. Then we kind of get a little sideways for the other character, the PC, the constable. Mm-hmm. She's like walking in, and there's two ladies on the street arguing, and there's a hammer in a windshield. It's like, okay.
I mean, as you do, like you scratch the side of my door, I come out of my vehicle and like stick a hammer through your windshield. I mean, that seems kind of tame for the UK. I'm just gonna say that.
Right. But hey, man, spoons are weapons. Then that kind of ties back in because she's the one who answers the call, and she's the CP. She's like, "I need more action." She's like, "You just got started. Chill out." So she goes to check out Space Poo with our new companion. She's like, "What's going on?" Apparently,
they're classmates.
Classmates.
They have some history.
Yeah, they know each other.
Because later on, Grandma recognizes her too.
Then, just for fun, the doctor falls through a train.
Yes, followed by a tentacle monster.
I'm just saying, man. I mean, you got to give hands up to regeneration. You're basically invincible during. You can lose limbs during regeneration.
Oh, absolutely. And I like the Rufus from Dogma entrance. Mm-hmm. I feel that one's a little underrated.
That was pretty good. It's like wham, followed by space spaghetti, data, electronics, snakes.
I mean, I saw that. This is what a fucking shitbag I am. My brain immediately jumps to, I've seen how this hentai ends.
Oh.
But yeah, zappy ball of snakes turns out to not be so zappy, as more of a fancy tricorder or something like that.
Like right then, man, it got a little bit stabby. It was like stab, 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 right in the collarbones.
Oh yeah, and of course, because Doctor Who scripts really don't understand Chekhov's gun all that much. They get implanted with the glowy thing. Mm-hmm. But I think at this point, the constable, the dude, Grandma, and not Grandpa are currently reunited at this point. Everybody's still in the train at this point. That's where they get stabbed. Yes. They all get stabbed.
Right in the train.
In the train. Where. I don't remember just because it was like fucking 5 minutes ago. But like, how did they get from like the woods to the train? Oh no, he got a phone call. Something happened.
Huh?
The kid, his grandma called him to get to the train.
Well, he called. He's like, "What? Yeah, what's going on? Where are you at? What's up?" And so it's like they're doing all. You confuse me sometimes. We got to like map this out because everybody's still in the train. They get stabbed. Doctor shocks the thing. Turns out it's DNA bombs. All this goes down, and we meet our target in the train. Yes. But we don't know it yet. And we're like, oh, why are we being introduced to this person? And Carl. He's definitely a thing. Everybody gets together and the doctor's like, okay, what's up? Has anybody seen anything weird? Like anything. Immediately, Doctor assumes authority. This always trips me out. Every time this happens, it doesn't matter if it's Tennant, Capaldi, whoever. It's like, oh, BS. Really?
Yeah, what? Just like
random person shows up and is like, "I'm in charge now." And it's like, "No, you're not."
I mean, but that's like any Doctor Who plot. Like,
I know. I go with it. I've learned to go with it over the decades, but
like, no, but this is and again, like, we can nitpick about the structural flaws of like Doctor Who and how these stories tend to go, but yeah, Doctor shows up, immediately assumes control, starts blabbling technobabble, and then everyone goes, "Oh, what's that? What's that? I don't understand." Well, of course you don't understand because you're a silly human. Now you follow me.
I don't think it's 100% that, because we're at that regeneration and the Doctor's still discombobulated quite a bit.
She is. So they eventually track down another weird thing that happens.
Well, from there they go back. They get together to look for weird stuff, and they go back to see where Space Poo is, and Space Poo's gone.
Space Poo gets jacked by a guy,
right?
And his buddy, who takes it to a warehouse where it proceeds to hatch into, I guess, a Kamen Rider bad guy,
Frosty the Snow Demon.
I mean, I'll give it credit. The costume looks like as good as something out of like a late 2010s like Japanese tokusatsu show.
Hey, so I was just really happy to see, like the crossover with the Jim Hadar in Doctor Who.
Oh yeah, the toothy boy.
But that was the whole thing. We rock on, and he breaks out, and the guy who like robbed Space Poo put it in. Go ahead, get out whatever you got to say.
Oh, I was no. You're what I was thinking comes after that. Yeah, where he brings the Space Poo to his warehouse. Mm-hmm. Apparently, there's some conspiracy going on. His sister is missing or something like this. And
well, we're kind of told that, but we're not told that. We're like, you put it together, viewer. You're supposed to see that. Yeah. That's his sister.
Mm-hmm. And then Space Poo starts to hatch.
Mm-hmm. Space Poo walks out and he's like, "Yo," says something to it. Then Space Poo, the Frosty the Snow Demon's like, "Say that again." So he says it again, and dude, like, murks him right there. He's like, "Tsh."
"Oh yeah," and steals a tooth. At this point, because bus drivers see all the weird shit that happens in Sheffield, they get word that something fucky is happening at a warehouse.
Well, how this rolls down is not Granddad is either currently a bus driver or a retired bus driver.
I think he's a retired bus driver.
Right.
He says they don't let him do that anymore. So, but of course he has all his bus driver connections. They have the what was it? What did Sherlock Holmes call his little friends, the irregulars or whatever?
I don't know. Yes.
Oh, sure. Well, he's got his little information network of bus drivers who leads them to the warehouse where the other dude who stole the Space Poo got murked.
Mm-hmm. And it just so happened that Grandma was a retired nurse.
Yes, she. I think we get like little implied bits about the relationship between her and not Grandpa, where
well, she was the one who attended him when he was going through chemo.
Cancer treatment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, Jill Cyberman with teeth.
I thought it was going to be like a weird Cyberman, like maybe they were setting up something. Like these are like the super future advanced Cybermen come back in time to like fuck up the Doctor.
Well, they could just be Iceman Part 2. Yeah,
the Ice Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
The Ice Warriors had sex with the Tooth Fairies, and now, now we meet this guy who really, really hates his salad.
Well, that was just when I paused and I made my Twitter comment. I was like, "Yep, you know what? This is absolutely the most Sheffield episode of Doctor Who that has ever existed." I was like, I completely believe this scene. A guy just completely smashed in the middle of the night, picking through his salad, throwing tomatoes on the ground, runs into a space alien. He's like, "Here, take some salad.
Eat my fucking salad."
Right.
And Mr. Space Alien's like, "Your guns, your clothes, and your shawarma, give them to me now."
Jesus, man, how high did you get before you got on?
Yeah, like
wrong show.
No, he fucking shows up and he murks the guy who's throwing the salad.
I know. I was trying to make a joke. Whoosh.
Whoosh.
Yeah. Anyway, that happened. That was the thing. But that's when we don't get to see dude's face there because the doctor's like, "Don't run away," and Frosty the Note Man like tears off, and the doctor's like, "Well, still regenerating, can't run,
can't remember her name still either."
Right.
So they're going through the alien stuff at the warehouse, and at this point the doctor says something that is a very Venn Stone line. It was like, "I'm great at building things, I think."
Listen, man. You got to get shit done. Sometimes you don't know until you try. Yeah. The doctor, which kind of like right at the beginning, we see he's like, "Oh, I don't have my Sonic. So you know what? Let's build a Sonic out of Sheffield steel. I can make
spoons."
Stuff." And it's not really a Sonic. It's more like a Swiss Army Sonic, right?
Except Swiss Army Sonic, but without the knives, because only idiots carry knives, because the doctor apparently really hates Sikhs and Gurkhas.
I don't know, says you. That was a bizarre looking Sonic, man.
Yeah, I'm hoping it gets replaced with like the new fancy one.
It looked kind of like a diseased Q-Cat, the barcode reader.
Yeah, I think that was kind of the point, though. This is like a hacked up like one that's gonna blow up at some point.
Could be, but things get sonicked. She finds like the return crystals, and she's like, "Yo, all right, I know what's up. I know what's going down." Yep. Then that leads them to then that's when we get like the triangulation device. We get the instantaneous like wipe of the mobile.
Yes. Because apparently, like, the doctor is basically just like the doctor comes with its own copy of ADB, so she can just like plug into the cell phone,
and also I have limited faith in the companion now, because how do you have a mobile in 2018 and not have anything synced to the cloud?
Oh yeah, it's all my stuff. It's all my stuff gone. Yep,
that's how it works.
Yeah,
that was a space format.
Oh yeah, Spormat. But yeah, so she figures out that they've been implanted with DNA bombs, things that will turn you into goo apparently when they detonate. Because apparently you can do that by sticking a USB port right next to your skin. You can just fry a DNA bomb.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
this happens, but all of this adventure leads us to the top of a building, doesn't it?
Yes, it leads us to a top of the building where the doctor once again encounters Madame Data Snick. No step on Snick.
Mm-hmm.
They give it a little zappy poo because apparently the doctor has whipped up her little gang of Ghostbusters. That's what it kind of reminded me of.
Dude, she straight up biz-snorted the snot out of it this time. She wasn't messing around. She's like, "Bad Snake, play dead."
Yeah.
And apparently it was
magical like 0-point module car battery. That's what I like.
An organic, little cyborg type thing, organic hybrid data collecting noodles that have been put into a data collecting ball by our Frosty the Nope Man.
Mm-hmm.
Who shows up?
Yes, he does. And then we get to see his big toothy grin.
That's right, man. Takes off the mask because you got to do that, right? They spent money on that makeup budget. So it's like, let's take this off for no reason. I was like, blam, shoot him in the face. Done. And he but he just like lays it out right there like a Bond villain or a Scooby-Doo. He's like, "Here's my sinister plan." And the doctor straight up accuses him of cheating, which he kind of did, right?
Oh, he absolutely did. I mean, again, it's a freaking plot hole in a Doctor Who episode, but like if he didn't know ahead of time what planet he was going to go to, because the dude homeboy needed to hit accept on the terms and conditions in the woods,
right?
Why was that there in the first place?
And yeah, apparently, he was the one who set that up. But the sinister evil thing is, it's like part of an initiation, a rite of passage, and they go to Earth, and they've been doing it for a long time. This isn't the first human that they've snatched, and the game is played by you get a randomly assigned human, you go to Earth, you don't get instructions, you can't bring any weapons or technology, and you got to track him down. So the doctor's like, "Yo, how did you murk the guy back there, that we found
Icy
earlier.
touch.
Right, ice touch, man. Yeah. So that works. That's the thing.
Apparently he can do ki blast too, because at some point he starts doing the Kamehameha to freak everyone out.
And the doctor's like, yo, this data snake thing that you have, that's cheating. He's like, nah, and then he teleports away for no reason instead of just killing everyone right there.
After he absorbs he does the full transfer, which has some consequences later on, because apparently this technology is not very well understood by the people who use it.
No firewalls, man. No
firewalls. And now it's a race to find the guy. They get the doctor gets his face out of the snakes.
Well, yeah, but my first thing I was like, really? Okay. So I thought about this is like, here's the game. You go to Earth with no weapons.
Right.
And bring back Carl. This is a rite of passage? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Because someone watched Alien versus Predator and they're like, man, we need to figure out how to get the doctor involved.
I don't know, man. I mean, go to Earth, no weapons, and bring back Carl. Aliens seeking, you're right, Predator, human, okay, but you're looking for human teeth. You're collecting human teeth, and you're landing in the UK.
I mean, it's the Big Book of British Smiles. That's maybe the only book that's made it out into the galaxy.
All right. Well, I guess that's a thing. What do we got up next? Something about a security guy?
Yes. So the security guy, he's having a conversation with his grandson. I'm like, oh man, this guy's gonna get fragged in 3, 2. Yep. Hey, you can't be here. Blah! He dies. And he only had 3 days left until retirement too.
Oh, right. Because Frosty the Noteman's, he's on his mission. It turns out it was the guy we were introduced who was on the train, trying to get to his job right at the beginning. And it turns out that this crane operator, way up in the sky, afraid of heights, Jordan.
Yeah, I mean, they try to brush that off as, oh, it's a family business. I didn't want to do this. I wanted to be a lumberjack leaping from tree to tree. And see, I would have straight up applauded if they just broke into the lumberjack song. That would have been great.
So then we actually get a little bit of action, Doctor, though, jumping and swinging.
Yes,
my legs were definitely longer.
Yeah, I like that because Capaldi was kind of lanky. No, but they send Copper and YouTube Star to operate the cranes to try and help the target get out of that situation. Well,
the doctor gives him a fistful of keys and says, "Have at."
Yes. We also learned that our crane operating acrophobe has a bit of a self-esteem problem. He's been listening to motivational tapes. Mm-hmm. He needs to be told that he is worthy of love, and so on. And
I am a pretty hate machine.
I'm the prettiest hate machine.
It's brilliant.
And so we get the tense little crane climbing scene where the doctor's trying to get to him, and the two new companions are trying to learn how to operate cranes, and they do it wrong the first time, but they get it right because apparently they're watching a YouTube video on fake YouTube on how to operate a crane. Learn how to make money from vlogging on a crane. 12 easy steps.
Guarantee you that's a thing. There's a vlogger that's what he does every day.
Crane videos. You know what? YouTube's huge. I believe that.
100%.
I don't doubt that.
Probably has 20 times the audience we will ever have.
Oh yeah, his Patreon's pulling in $3,000 a month.
Easy.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So we get the you gotta jump. I don't think I can do it. Yes, you can. You gotta jump. But then he gets caught by Toothy McGrin's face.
Right. Then the doctor jumps.
Yes. Then the doctor jumps. Her legs used to be longer, but apparently she maintains her upper body strength.
Oh, and we completely glossed over one of the earlier things. She's like, well, I just a few hours ago I was an angry Scottish man.
Yeah. That was good. That was.
I like that. That was pretty good. So then we have the confrontation between the Doctor and Frosty the Snopes.
Mm-hmm.
And that went down. Well, it was typical Doctor stuff. I was 100% with, I'm going to give you all the chances, and you're not going to take them, and it's going to get resolved with me still giving you a way out. How did that work out?
I mean, yeah, so she had the Toothy McGrinface's alien teleporting pod. She took it apart, took the go home device. She says, I'll smash it if you don't fuck off and go home, because otherwise you're going to be trapped here. And there's a bit of standoff. Who do you think you are? Oh, I know who I am. I'm the Doctor. Force fair play across the universe. And it turns out also at some point the Doctor had reversed all the DNA bombs, so now she implanted them into Mr. the Ball of Snacks, which is still hooked up to Toothy McGrinface. So when he blows up the snake, he gets blown up himself, or he feels the pain of it.
Well, she had uploaded all the DNA bombs, so when he downloaded that, he ended up with all that back in him. So he's getting blown up, and he's like, roar, in pain. Then Carl's like, you know what? He grew up here. He's like, F this. He kicked him off the top of the crane, and the guy's falling down. He activates the crystal. He nopes back to wherever. But they do have like that moment where they're talking between Doctor and Frosty the Nope. He's like, what do you do? You've been here before. What happened to these other people? It's like, we just keep them in stasis.
Between life and death.
Yeah. That's the thing. Anyway, so he nopes out. Then the Doctor looks at Carl. She's like, you had no right to do that. And I audibly said, bullshit, Carl. Bullshit. You had every right to do that.
He absolutely did. He had no reason to expect that other dude to leave him alive. He can kill with the touch, right? Like, that is a very valid, reasonable assumption. One thing I wanted to ask you, though, is do you think our teeth buddies are going to be coming back? Because that seems to be, it might be a setup.
I don't think so. I think this was kind of like, it could be a little bit of setup, but I'd really think it was like the first time Smith in his first episode with the Eltraxians, where he's like, get out of here. He's like, who am I? Look up who I am. That was a good scene, though, man. When he's like, the eyeball was like flipping through all that, and he's like, oh, nope, and it disappears. Then he's like, nope, come back down here. I'm not done. I was like, yes.
Yeah, we don't quite get that here. And I don't know what leads me to think that these guys are coming back in some capacity is just like they spent a lot of time setting up questions, but I know Doctor Who is really bad about, oh yeah, we're gonna foreshadow shit and then not do anything with it because we forgot.
This is true. I mean, this could be our new Daleks. You know something I learned? You know, it's just a urban legend that they have a contract that they have to use the Daleks in every series.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like I thought that was fact, and it's like, nope. I looked that up.
I mean, the evidence would lead you to believe that as well, because
I know, right?
Yeah, because like every season, there's just like the throwaway Dalek episode. Oh, they're dead, but they're back, but they're dead, but they're back again. Anyways,
we kind of buried the lead because Grandma, she did.
Yeah, she did. In the attempt to get the trains working, she died. And it's a big emotional turn. Not Grandpa's like, no, and Grandson's like, no, and the cop lady's like, who is this lady?
Well, okay, well, I think it really set the rules for this new series, our new Doctor, and it's like, yeah, people die now, and like, there's
three people died in the resolution of this thing, and previously we had Capaldi. No one dies.
Well, you even had Tennant, man. Remember, like Water of Mars? He's like, just this, or even Eccleston is like, just this one time, everyone lives. And then you had Time Lord Victorious with Tennant when he's like, no. Then the lady goes in her house and murks herself anyway.
Yep. But we gotta have a makeover.
Well, the whole thing, man. Wait, I don't want to gloss over that real quick because, you know, Grandma was like, whoa, that was sudden. Because I thought when she's on the floor, it's like, she got hurt. She's going to get recuperated. It's like, I was like, fuck, all right.
Yeah.
Then it's like, boom, fast forward. Not Grandpa's like, yeah, shit happens, dead. And we get a little talk between the Doctor and what's the new companion's name? What's his name?
Something Sinclair.
Could be. It's going to take like 4 or 5 episodes on horrible names.
It's Ricky. It's Ricky.
The Tin Dog, right?
Yeah.
That whole thing went down. So they talked. It's like, you need some new clothes, and you're right. Yep. Shopping spree.
Makeover. You know what? I was a little disappointed they didn't kind of linger on that and like give her like a couple stupid outfits before settling on the latest stupid outfit. I mean, let's be real. The Doctor has never been a paragon of fashion.
No, I think it really harkened.
I think Tennant was the high point of that because I was just like a blue suit.
Well, right. It did harken back to the first episode with Matt Smith when he was in the hospital. It's like, I need something to wear, and he's like swapping out clothes and all that fun stuff before he goes up to the roof. So yeah, that was an outfit. So they're like, all right, everything's down. Doctor still, we have not seen the TARDIS. We don't know where the TARDIS is up, and we're getting towards the end of the episode.
Yes.
But the Doctor's like, hey man, I know a way to find the TARDIS because I'm a Time Lord and shit.
Mm-hmm. And so she uses the aliens toothy McGrid faces teleporter to lock onto the TARDIS and teleport there because apparently there are 37 levels of freaking Iceman technology.
Well, one thing, did you notice?
3 of whom don't make sense.
Right. Did you notice that twist lock power coupler? It's like that thing's been in every episode of every sci-fi movie, TV episode. That is like the generic oversized power connector. I was like, really? That thing? Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
did the
Doctor? What?
No, it's like then the microwave counts down, it goes ding, and the Doctor is transported into space, floating, then zoom out.
With everyone else.
Right.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, it's pretty obvious, like, I'm going to go, and it's just going to be me. No, it's not. And thus, they are all zorped into space, asphyxiating.
Dead.
And
the series is over. Right.
Yeah.
That was definitely a thing. I saw that, then I watched the preview for next week's trailer, which is like, hey, we're on a planet and everyone's still alive. So we got to figure out. We have opposing theories, and I think yours is right after I went and watched the trailer because I didn't watch the trailer when I wrote what I wrote in the notes.
I haven't watched the trailer yet either, so this is just pure conjecture out of me.
Because I was just like, hey, man, because the TARDIS cast its nitrogen field and whatever, and it's like, yo, that's where they're at, and they're gonna get sucked in. But you're like, spaceship.
Yeah. Oh no, that's how they consistently do it. They're like, oh, there's a spaceship that's probably gonna take them to the planet, or it has like the TARDIS on it, or maybe that's gonna be like the plot of the first 5 episodes of the series is like them randomly going from place to place, completely TARDIS-less, trying to track it down.
Oh, and we did miss that. We missed a thing though, man, because after Grandma died, our new companion, he's like, fuck it, I'm going to ride this bike. So apparently he went and got the bike that is clearly made out of adamantium because there's not a dent on it after being thrown down a mountain.
Oh, and yeah, no, that frame would have been trashed.
Bikey gets his revenge, man. It fucks him up a couple of times, right?
Oh, yeah.
Did you think for a minute the Doctor was going to just be like, here, have some regeneration energy, get your balance back?
No. No. So what this is clearly setting up the redemption arc. He's kind of a doof, and he's gonna get his moment to shine, and that's gonna be his big character arc. I'm calling it now. He's gonna have to like disarm a bomb or something. He's like, I can't because I have no coordination. I believe in you, and then he does it.
The bike was stuck in a tree. So, yeah, you're also saying it hit a tree too, and there still wasn't.
It hit several trees on the way down. Because you heard crash in that opening scene. That bike is destroyed.
I'm just saying the bike got its revenge, man. I mean,
100%.
So, what did you think, man? I was interested. Tip's like, all right, I'm down with this.
It's like a solid Tenet era episode. Like nothing completely mind blowing. Because I think Doctor Who is well past that point. Where like
true,
but it hit all the story beats. The acting was decent. I'm interested to see how Jodie develops the character over time. What sort of personality that this Doctor is going to have. Starting right off the bat with 3 companions. They don't usually they have a little bit of a episode arc where they try to like gather them all.
Well, I think in recent New Who was like, oh hey, you kind of meet who's potentially going to be the companion, then the Doctor fucks off for a little bit, then they get back together. But speaking of companions, man, there were no tie-ins from anybody in this first episode at all. Period.
And I mean that's the thing. I have no opinion on that one way or the other, because they've always sort of been self-contained. Aside from like I think Smith to Capaldi was like heavy. The latest, was like heavy crossover. But like And I guess Eccleston to Tennant as well, but that was because Eccleston kind of just up and quit randomly.
I mean, he finished his contract, man.
Yeah.
Like at the beginning when the Doctor like first crashes into the tube, right? And I think it was not Grandpa. It was like aliens. I don't believe in aliens. There's no aliens. It's like, what Britannia are you living in? Is this alternate universe where everything has not invaded since ever?
And again, that's like classic Doctor Who, like where they're like, since if we're supposed to believe that this has been like one consistent timeline since like William fucking Hartnell in 1960 whatever, Earth has been in danger for like fucking 50 years, 50, 60 years, constantly invaded or under threat of invasion, but like it still has to maintain like the veneer of, oh, this is just the world as we're living in it today.
Mm-hmm.
So it's one of those things where it's like they remember alien shit when it's convenient for them to remember alien shit, and when it's inconvenient, then no one remembers. It was a gas leak. Everyone was just on some really bad acid at the time.
True.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked it. I'm going to continue watching it. I'm curious. I want to see what they're going to do with it. In all fairness, we were talking about this, I think, in the after shows and last night. I wasn't a huge... I like Peter Capaldi as an actor. I wasn't a huge fan of Peter Capaldi as the Doctor, mainly because I think he's just got a tsunami of dog shit scripts to deal with. There were some good episodes.
The one where they actually go to Gallifrey, I think, was like the high point. There was like... Yeah. I think we both had that reaction when we were doing. It's like, where the fuck was this for the last 2 seasons?
Yeah, we did. And it wasn't necessarily that those were great episodes. It's just they stood out as so much better than like, really? All right.
Yeah. It's an okay start. It usually takes a couple episodes for a new Doctor to sort of find their footing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the big deal now is that Moffat is gone. So his showrunnering has a very specific style to it that I've determined I really don't like. Like like if you compare it to something like Sherlock is very, very like arc-wise similar to like his seasons of Doctor Who, and it's the tropes that he engages with. They just don't do it for me. So hopefully we have brand new writers, we have a brand new showrunner, new Doctor. Something good will come out of this.
Something's going to come out of it. Jodie's performance reminds me of Thurrott and Davidson.
There were a couple minutes where I'm like, she's trying to do a Capaldi through Jodie.
Well, you're supposed to do that though.
Yeah.
And just as your own like homage, like limp attempt at continuity. It's like, hey, I was just Capaldi like 30 seconds ago.
I was a Grey Scotsman.
Right. We're going to keep rocking with it. And I wasn't disappointed. Nothing made me go like, this is crap.
It was just an okay episode of Who.
No.
That's the other thing too. They got a lot of groundwork they got to cover. They're going to start doing multi-episode arcs. So
that, and they got a lot of setup they got to do too. This is kind of like what you're putting up. New writers and everything, and it does definitely had the feel of let's wipe the slate a little bit here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's set the stage for something a little fresher. Yeah, so I think that's gonna do it for us. I guess stay tuned next week when our
adventures continue.
Yeah, when we hop back into the TARDIS because we stole it. That's the twist.
All right, hang on. Maybe I can put the music back on. I don't know. There we go. All right, beautiful people. We'll see you next week. Join us on patreon.com/Linux Gamecast. There will be audio MP3 versions of this tomorrow if you want.
Sweet.
For some weird reason to re-listen. All right. Bye-bye. We'll see you Tuesday.
Bye.